I was dying to get. Once I start to feel a bit weighed down by all the things that I have, I get rid of them. You guys ate with this one. So damaged, and like you could see right through my hair. Hair dyes, if you have not watched it yet, put it on your watch list for sure. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We are back with another February edit. You guys were loving the January edit. Thank you so much for tuning in. Just going along with me and things I'm currently loving, currently looking into, and currently keeping me sane in this crazy world that we're living in, right? We are in March, and March seems to be flying by. Tomorrow's literally daylight saving time already. I don't know. I don't even know where March 1st went, let alone now it's about to be March 10th. It's a little bit crazy for me, but we are going to jump right into things that I am loving in February. February edit starts now. Okay, so for this edition of the edit, I actually wanted to organize it a bit differently than I did for January. I feel like January, I just kind of did whatever was in front of me. We were fine, but I wanted to be a little bit more organized from here on out. I'm gonna give you guys 4 categories this time. The first is clothes, then beauty, then home, and entertainment. Starting off in clothing, I wanna show you guys one of my latest buys from a clothing line that I have always admired. I'm slowly starting to get some pieces from them, especially with their new collections, which are super hard to get by. They sell out super quick, especially if you're not in New York and just can go right into the flagship store. But I got my hands on a piece that I was like dying to get, and it came in the mail. Even though I have not worn this yet, the tag is literally still on here. It's from Aime Leon Dior. Not living in New York has been actually annoying for clothing wise, but I was lucky enough to get this. This is the Casentino half zip pullover in the color Pristine, and I got this in an extra small. I'm 5'2" for reference. I was a little bit surprised actually when I got this in the mail because I did not think that it was textured. I hope you guys can see this, but it is definitely textured. It didn't quite show on the lookbook itself. I thought it was just kind of like a regular quarter zip pullover like I'm wearing right now, but this is textured. I hope you guys can see that. The texture really does kind of like leave its mark behind. I don't know if you need to do a little bit of, you know, like pass like a brush through it or anything before you wear it, but I guess that would be the only con to it. I feel like I already know how I want to style it, and one of those items is definitely up next that we're going to talk about. Aime Leon Dior always has my heart. I think they have just like really quality pieces. They even give collectors. So I will be wearing this all spring. Okay, the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is my re-up on my pajamas situation. I am always looking to refresh and revamp my pajamas. In the beginning of the year, I decided to just like throw out all the things I had. I had a bunch of big t-shirts, a bunch of things that I was just kind of like holding on from the years. I've amassed all these t-shirts that I kind of have no idea where they're from at this point, who they're from at this point, and I just wanted to let go of that energy. Once I start to feel a bit weighed down by all the things that I have, I get rid of them. And so I did exactly that, specifically with all my pajamas, cleared that drawer right out, and then decided to start rebuilding. So the first place I went to rebuild my pajama collection was my outfit online. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them. For some reason, I'm a little late to the boat, but I'm here. I've arrived. They sent me some things in the mail, maybe like last August, but it was just a pair of sweatpants, which were lovely, but I never put them on for some reason. They were just like tucked away in my closet. This time they had a Valentine's Day drop. It was like a little bit prior to Valentine's Day. I loved the looks so much, and so I was like, you know what, let me just get these. These look super cute. I chose 2 different sets. The 2 sets that I got, honestly, I wish I had ordered multiple versions of them because they sold out so quick, especially the Valentine's Day collection. So the 2 that I wanted to talk to you guys about are the ones I got from the Valentine's Day collection, and the first one is this one right here. Everything they have is 100% cotton. I love their tops, love their bottoms, but right now we're talking about pajamas, and I'm definitely telling you to lean in to switching up your pajama drawer and getting quality, comforting clothes. When must you be most comfortable? Of course, when you're getting ready for bed. So the last item in our clothing category are going to actually be my new pair of favorite loafers. Hold on a second. I got my hands on these loafers that I have had pinned for at least 3 months now. If it goes viral on Pinterest, it's very hard to find. Thank goodness for my personal shopper over at Saint Laurent because she did what she needed to do for me. These were slated to not be available until I think May. So even if I had ordered them in January, they weren't going to come until possibly May. But I don't know what Mamas did. I'm not going to ask what Mamas did. She did it for me. I got these in in February. Also have not worn them because the outfit in my head, remember I told you guys I wanted to style my Aim Leon Dore sweater. I'm going to style them with these loafers, and it's gonna hit. Like, I'm telling you, it's gonna hit. Like, refer back to my Instagram for pictures when I put them together. These are my new YSL penny loafers. These are called the supple loafer in the shiny leather. Look at that. I'm just gonna give a moment to appreciate the craftsmanship. These are a size 38. I am a 7.5, and so they fit true to size. What I appreciate about these loafers is that they are lambskin, and so you can walk a mile to 10 miles. Who would want to do that? But still, you can walk a lot in these loafers without it tearing up the back of your foot. They are so comfortable. They really are supple, as is in the name. And they're just really, really a classic look. I feel like can go with jeans. They could go with even shorts. Jorts, can't wait to hit these with a little jort situation. No, this is really going to hit with a lot of my outfits. And I know that I will be able to walk around without regretting it. For our next category, beauty, I kept it pretty simple. So let's just jump right into it. The first is from Rhode, and this is actually a product that has been reintroduced to me. I remember when I got Rhode PR when they first came out with their skincare line. I latched on to the face cream, the face moisturizer, which I still love, love, love. I keep that in my like daily purse. This edit is about specifically the glazing milk. This was also in that package, but for some reason I like gave it away. I am in love with this glazing milk. I use this every single day and night. It is an after AM PM cleansing. Apply generous amounts onto hands and gently press onto face and neck. And this is exactly what I do day and night. This is almost finished. I think I bought this in, if not like the last week of January, I bought it at the top of February, but it is honestly one of my favorite skin products right now. I just find that it literally helps my skin barrier repair itself and also just stay beautifully intact. I often don't have to put on a moisturizer after I put this, and the way it leaves you looking very, not shiny, but I want to say just really healthily bright and glowy. This is what I love about this product. It's moisturizing that skin barrier. You can feel it after, even the next day after you've put it on, it is still on without clogging your pores. And then I do just love like the glaze look that it leaves behind. The next thing I want to show you guys is this super empty. This is probably like my fourth of these. It is my favorite toner, and it's from Bolden. It's the Skin Brightening Toner. No toner does what this toner does, in my opinion. This is, again, from Bolden. It is a Black owned, I want to say woman owned, but it is a Black owned company. So you guys ate with this one, absolutely. It diminishes the appearances of dark spots and prevents breakouts. I'm not one to get many breakouts, so I really cannot speak to that. But what I can speak to are the two huge benefits about this. I do believe that for me, it does diminish the look of dark spots. It works kind of like a vitamin C, if you ask me. Absolutely, it does reduce the looks of dark spots. When we get into the summer, I tend to have a lot of sunspots, especially on my cheek area, and I feel like using this definitely helps with that. I love this toner. I feel like it just does the best job at really getting the leftover gunk and whatever else is left in your pores after you've done your cleansing routine. So I'm always gonna re-up on this. I don't think any other toner cleans my pores as well as this, and also like leaves me looking super pretty, super moisturized, and then pores tight. Love her down. Next thing is from L'Occitane. Everyone has loved the hand cream, which I absolutely love. I have like 14 of the small version. I've gotten in PR, the foot cream. This is the L'Occitane en Provence dry skin foot cream, and it is 15% shea butter. The packaging looks almost identical to the shea butter hand cream, except for this little orange circle right here. This is not as thick as the shea butter hand cream, and I think there is a reason for that. It is perfect formula for your feet. I have been using this, not every night. I'm not like really great at keeping up with routines. I have ADHD. So I have absolutely seen a difference in the softness of my feet and just less ashy. So I definitely do think this is a add to cart, or definitely request this as a gift. Okay, next up is really a thank you to you guys. Everyone has been complimenting me on wearing my natural hair out. I've been doing, I think since January now, I have been a lot more confident in wearing it out because it has grown back finally to be as healthy as I remember my hair being when I was like in college days. I truly have not seen my hair this healthy in ages. And it's in part, if not all, part to seborrheic dermatitis. It's something I've struggled with since college. A lot of Black women struggle with this. It's very, very common for us, and it's often misdiagnosed or not treated correctly. There is no way to get rid of it, but there are tons of offerings to treat it. And it's honestly trial by error, whatever works for you. And sometimes things that worked for me only worked for a month and then they didn't work anymore. And what I decided to treat my hair with was K18. Now, I've always used K18 shampoos, especially their peptide and especially their clarifying shampoo. It wasn't until they sent these to me again in PR that I was like, oh, you know what? Let me just start using these up. So I used those up then, right? And then I made sure to keep up with them because you guys, as you can see, my hair went from being so damaged, and like you could see right through my hair. It was so thin. It was growing back for sure, but it was so thin, still so damaged. Even the hair that was coming out of the root was like, no, like we are going to continue this toxic relationship of just not being the hair that you once knew. But K18 leave-in molecular repair hair mask has quite literally changed the DNA of my hair. It's not scientific, so don't quote me on that. As you can see, and as you guys have been telling me that you see, my hair has been so healthy and just so luscious, so thick, and just, I mean, all the things that I've known it to be. And it's honestly only getting better, and I can only credit that to K18. So if you are in Sephora, I think this is definitely something to add to cart. I know that the Sephora sale is coming up. This is something I would say, skip the line, skip everything, add these to your cart. They are the leave-in molecular repair hair mask. And lastly, in our beauty category is my current favorite perfume obsession. This is from Loewe, and it's La Bella Cibeles. It is a unisex scent. I had never tried any Loewe perfumes prior to this one, but what I do know is that I love this one. I'm going to spray it on before I leave today for the house. Let me tell you guys the notes though. This fragrance, like I said, is unisex, and the notes are rose, iris, vanilla, and musk, and they create a scent that reflects the city's culture. Having been to Madrid, yes. Having just been to Europe, double yes. This is a very sophisticated yet light scent. I am an oud girl first, and I like vanillas second, and definitely like rose and flowery things last. Honestly, something before that. But this to me just mixes them so well. It is not too sweet, it's not too oudy, and it doesn't really have like a musk scent to it at all. I just think it just smells expensive. It smells expensive. It lasts all day when you put it on. I think I've just gotten so many compliments from it that I know that I will just keep this one in my rotation. I think this scent goes perfect for winter. I think it's going to be great in the spring as well. I just love a scent that's just long lasting. It's just going to stay with me, and it doesn't change when I put it on my skin. Like what I smell out of the bottle is how it smells on me, and it stays that way the entire day that I have it on. So I think it was definitely worth the investment, and this is also just such a beautifully crafted bottle. I think the bottle is very simple, and I love like the marble top with the Loewe logo at the top there. So we're gonna move into the home category, and this one's gonna be pretty short but very sweet. Maybe new to some, but definitely not new to me. This is the matcha that I have been drinking for several months now, and it is from one of my favorite YouTubers. This is her matcha. It's called 64th Circle. I think her overall brand is 64th Circle. I really jumped on the matcha she was selling just because of the background that she was giving and just like the story she gave, how she came up with her matcha and where she's harvesting it from. This to me is the best tasting matcha, and I have tried a whole heap of matchas, some sent to me, some that I go out and try. Nothing has beat this in terms of taste. In terms of the overall experience of a matcha, this to me is the best. Its origin is from Shiga, Japan. The place where this is cultivated from specifically in Japan is said to be one of the oldest tea gardens and the first place that green tea seeds were planted ever. So it's pretty original if you ask me. The harvest is the first flush, so that means you're getting the freshest, just the most pure of the matcha itself here. The flavor profile for 64th Circle is bright, smooth, and earthy with a balance of light bitterness. So I do like to taste my matcha when I make matcha. No shade to others that make matcha with a whole lot of sweeteners and extra sugary milk and whatnot. whatnot, but I like to taste the green tea, that matcha earthy flavor, and I do feel like this is a great balance of that while still remaining creamy. Speaking of drinks, we're moving on to my second home buy that I have been coveting all of February, and it is my little jade mug. I love this mug so much. It is what I will usually have a morning or afternoon tea in. The benefits of a jade mug are actually plenty if you didn't know. If you use a jade mug to drink tea, it is said to make the tea drinking experience a bit more ritualistic. It serves to make the tea experience just a bit more heightened. I don't know what the reaction is to the tea or the hot drink that you're having in a jade mug, but it does set to enhance the tea that you are drinking. But what I also do know is that jade is a gemstone, and it's believed to have many healing and spiritual benefits. So I do think when I go and reach for this mug and have a tea in it, or sometimes I'll have my matcha in here, if and rarely do I drink hot matcha really, but if I do and it's in this cup, I just know that it's a reminder for me to slow down with the drink, to just be in the moment. When I do catch those mornings where I don't have to immediately mom or immediately hop into emails or any work or anything, and it's just me in this jade cup, I have been able to slow down. Lastly, in our home corner, speaking of slowing down and healing, I actually just had hernia repair surgery on the very last day of February. And before I went into surgery, I wanted to do a little shopping, just see what I can do to make my home feel very warm and very cozy while I was going to be on bed rest for a little bit. And I found the perfect scents at Diptyque to do just that. I bought 3 new candles that I have been burning nonstop, as you can see. Like, I literally just got these. I'm trying not to kill them off so quickly because, as you guys know, Diptyque are not like very cheap candles whatsoever. Let's talk about this one first because it gets the most burn from me, and it's actually the first candle I bought from them in February. This one is Diptyque Tuberose. So the scent profile on Tuberose is fragrant white flower. The tuberose plants exhale a fresh green scent, delicately nuanced with fruity, milky notes. This to me smells a bit Indian flavor. Like if I were to enter a store that had like Indian spices, like a turmeric tea or something like that, this is what this smells like to me. There is certainly a rose scent under here, but I do experience the white flowers and those milky notes a bit more. I use this in my living room. It literally just it takes over. My living room's not that large, but from my kitchen, I can smell this burning on my living room table. It is one of my favorite and my first actual Diptyque scent. So for my bedroom and for my bathroom, this one is almond. I love almond. I will always forever stay on almond. If there's a bedroom spray that's almond, I want it. Send that to me if you know one. In a candle, I absolutely will get it. And I found the perfect one at Diptyque, and this has been my bedroom. I light this while I'm showering so that by the time I come out and I'm doing like my moisturizing and all of that, my room is extremely fragrant. Obsessed with this. Love it. Now I keep this one in my bathroom, and it is the lavender leaf. This one is pretty subtle. It's a very, very clean scent, and it just feels perfect for the bathroom, as I just don't want it to like, you know, mess with any other scent that I have in there coming from like my bathroom products. And I just don't want it to be too thick with a perfume in there, especially after I get out of like a steam shower. And I felt like this was just the perfect light and clean scent for that. So these are my 3 brand new Diptyque candles that I have been burning all month in February, and just the perfect addition to a cozy home. Okay, so we've made it to our last category in this February edit, and it is entertainment. So for entertainment, I want to talk to you guys about what's been keeping me busy, what's been keeping me on a screen and off a screen. The first thing is on screen. I don't know about you guys, but I like watching all shows on an iPad. I don't know what it is about me. I literally do not turn on the TV in my house unless I have to. Like unless I'm doing like cleaning and I just need like a bigger sound, I'm on my iPad. That is where I watch all my shows, my Netflix, my Max, whatever other streaming thing I'm doing, especially YouTube, my iPad. If you're the same way, definitely tell me in the comments. But I say that to say I have been streaming and recently finished Paradise. Let that already be that man's Oscar and whatever award we have available. Go ahead and get up on that stage. He needs every nomination and win that we have available. Paradise was written so wonderfully. I have not been so excited about a show in quite some time. As we know, Apple has some great shows out right now, but this one was just, it's off Apple, but this one was just really, it just captured me, and I know a whole lot of people right away from episode 1. If you've not seen Paradise yet, I'll just give you the premise without any spoilers. So it is about a disaster that happens and effectively wipes out out the world as we know it. It's a climate change disaster. Some people are saved because there is a bunker, a new world that is developed somewhere in a mountain in Colorado. A murder happens, and the entire first season, I think it is 8 episodes, goes through finding out who killed the president of the new world inside this mountain in Colorado. The acting is phenomenal. The writing is phenomenal. Each character's development is just, it was a pleasure to watch them grow, to watch them develop, and to get to know each of them individually. And I feel as though the way that the first season ended was such a great setup for season 2, and I can't wait for that to come. This was on Hulu, but I know that I think ABC bought it. So now if you don't have Hulu, you'll be able to watch season 1 shortly, and then when season 2 comes out, you'll be able to watch it as well. Paradise, if you have not watched it yet, put it on your watch list for sure. Now let's go to off screen. I have been reading a lot. I'm already a person who reads a lot. I can read like 4 books at once, whether it be my ebook, on my audiobook, and like 2 physical books at the same time. I've always been like that. My mom is like that. I love to read. I love to read fiction, especially just to have an escape from the day-to-day and just to expand my imagination always. Here are some of the books I have been getting into or read and finished in February. The first being James, a novel. This was a brilliant read. From first page to the end, it was gripping, it was funny, it was ironic. I think I went through a whole bunch of emotions. It's said to be a rewrite of Huckleberry Finn, but I don't think so. I don't agree with it, I should say. Although it's presented that way, to me, it is Huckleberry Finn. That story to me would be useless because I don't know if you guys have read it. I didn't grow up it wasn't on my reading list for some reason. From my understanding of that book and that story, it would have been useless to me because it is from the point of view of Huckleberry, who is this young white boy who befriends his slave, the runaway slave. And so the slave is perceived as, simple, superstitious, and just very childlike. And especially in this stage of my life, especially in this stage in the world that we are living in, don't really have a desire to read any books or take in anything that portrays slaves in that way, because it is not the full story and it's not the full understanding of the slave as a person. To me, James, a novel, which tells Mark Twain's story backwards, so it tells it from the perspective of the slave. And in this book, his name is N-word Jim, but he claims his name as James. In the book is just done so beautifully. It is funny, like I said, but at the same level, it's like you'll be laughing at one sentence and then the next sentence brings you back to the reality that this is a slave. He is going through slave consequences. He's going to slave thoughts, and he's going through slave processes. So it does ground you back into the reality, but I think the author does an amazing job at disarming you so that he can then give you the real tea of what is really going on, And I think that is how you, as a Black author and as a Black author writing about slavery, get through non-white people's heads. Give them a little something they can relate to and then lay on the reality to it, because it's hard for them to ignore it at that point. And I think this does a wonderful job of that. The story is a journey of Jim escaping his master and going through trying to find his family. It's just full of adventure. Every page is full of adventure. Some of them I was like holding my breath. I couldn't stop reading it because I needed to know what was going to happen next, who he was going to meet next. Is this person going to be a helper or a deterrent to his freedom? It kept me going till the very last page, to the point where the very last page shocks me because I didn't want it to end. I'm like, are you serious? Like, please be like one more line or something. So the next book I read was actually a reread, and it's The Yellow Wallpaper. I read this book in college. I have a minor in English Lit. This was one of the stories that we read for, I think, women's literature, some part in that, in some part of my studies. I have loved this short story since. I reread it often, but I haven't done so in quite some time. And so I picked it back up just for, just a palate cleanser in between certain books that I was reading. I remembered why I love it so much. I mean, I felt like I picked it up at the right time. I was kind of spiraling. It was in between this video and maybe before I was editing my last video, which I was having like a complete meltdown. If you haven't seen that video, it is kind of doing pretty well on YouTube. It is one of my vlogs, and I was going through a really, really tough time, mentally not able to sustain a lot of what was happening to me in life during that time. And you know, it happens to all of us. Like I said, I do read to escape sometimes, and it doesn't matter how down I am going to be reading a book. And just so happened, the yellow wallpaper found me again, and it is about a woman who is taken out of the city and into their countryside cottage with her husband, and you know, they're very proper, and it is just this slow unwinding of this woman that we see as the story goes on. And it is focused on this yellow wallpaper in this room that she's in, and then she thinks that someone is behind the wallpaper. A little creepy. Don't read this at night if you do get night terrors. Premise itself, I just think it's just a wonderfully told story, a short story, and can be interpreted in many different ways. It's over as soon as it starts, but a whole lot happens. It's a great tale. The next book I read was also a reread, but I have not read this since I was maybe early high school. I might even have been late middle school. So I've not read this with adult eyes, adult brain, and adult experiences. And that book is Animal Farm. George Orwell's Animal Farm has been, I think, a lot of what people are picking back up, the types of books, but specifically this book, are picking back up in this day and age. I mean, we all know with the presidency that we're currently under, a lot of us are looking to escape, and a lot of us are looking to books that kind of noted that this was going to happen. This is the only direction we would be going in if certain people were put in place. This book was scarily on point. I mean, every other page, every other quote was definitely something that was not just like similar to what was going on, but quite literally a mirror of what is currently going on in our world, in our politics, in our cabinets right now. And if you have not read this book, it is also a pretty short book. It is not a complicated read whatsoever. If you are looking for some humor with some truth, then Animal Farm is definitely for you. If you've already read Animal Farm and have any notes on it, definitely drop that in the comments. I would love to discuss this book or any book that I mention with you guys. And lastly, I wanted to tell you guys that I'm finally on Substack. So by the time this video comes out, I have probably sent out my welcome email and probably one more Substack post. I am a writer before I am anything else. I've always loved writing. I mean, drawers and drawers and drawers full of journals since I was young. I think I'm a writer because I am a reader, and because I have always pretty much grown up having to tell a journal what was going on. And I finally got back to journaling in the way that I used to when I was younger, which is talking to myself rather than doing this like recount of what happened in the past and making myself live in the past when I read those stories. I just want to talk to myself about the day and what my thoughts are and what's happening, and let those things process daily for me. So I am going to be doing that over on Substack. Over on that Substack, you will also get a little glimpse of what I'm loving, what I'm interested in at the end, mixed with just a couple of notes about what's going on that day. And as you guys know, I'm always going to keep it real. So you're always going to get the full tea of what is actually going on in my day-to-day life, apart from these like little edits. If you watch my vlogs, you do know that I live quite a layered and complicated life, especially for right now as a single mom who is, you know, reinventing herself, reinventing life, and going through life trying to separate herself from a former super toxic relationship and still navigating how to keep my head forward while moving forward, while raising myself and raising my daughter at the same time. So my newsletter will be all about that, the day-to-day of that, and then also including some of our edits here, but in a more daily, if not weekly fashion. So if you are on Substack, definitely follow my Substack. I'll link it down below. I'll follow you back. So I definitely want to see what you guys are writing, what you guys are interested in. So leave your Substack below if you'd like me to follow you as well. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to February Edits, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.